Let's see. What up? What up? All right, cool. I think it's working now. All right, guys. So first off, today was pretty wild with that FOMC meeting. A lot of volatility. SPY's bouncing around. Hasn't really taken a full direction, I would say, yet. Buyers stepping around that 430 level. So I'm gonna watch that a lot tomorrow. But some of these plays and some of this flow for tomorrow is pretty insane. So I've made a list of 6 stocks with some pretty good up and downside, and I like it a lot. But going to keep in mind risk management for sure. Tomorrow there were some earnings after hours, so that will come into play, especially with this first one. INTC had earnings today. Revenues were up, I believe, but their outlook, investors didn't like that as much. It dropped 2% after hours. So I'm going to keep that in mind, especially when looking at Nvidia here, same sector, SMH as well. But this flow is insane, right? Like 128, we're getting hits all the way up to 260 calls. Nice, pretty bullish flow, it looks like, for the most part in terms of the short term. But we also have puts get hit down all the way to 200. These 220s, 230s, 225s getting hit nice, 210s getting hit nice. So I like that a lot. Possible big move in either direction. We finished the day at 227.78. So I like this play a lot from Nvidia. The flow is pretty nice. I like that. Let's go back here to hot chains and tickers. Hide that. Another one that stuck out right away is DKNG. Usually it's not this high up. It had a pretty strong running right off the bat in terms of that, and it needs to get some things going if we're going to get a reversal here, right? So let's go to today's breakdown. All right, today's breakdown. That 22 call getting hit really, really hard. I'm guessing especially at the beginning. That's nice to see. We also see this 318 30 call getting hit pretty nice. Nice upside for 2 months. But we're also getting these hits, these 128 19 puts, 20 puts. Nice. I like that a lot, especially that 19 put. There's a gap fill as we see. Looks like it started to fill a little bit here towards the end of the day. That's something I like to see a lot with DKNG, and something I'm definitely going to be watching tomorrow. Let's see, next one, Snapchat. So Snap, the reason I like this a lot is Snap filled that gap down, right? But they need to hold and we need to consolidate and bounce up if we're going to be able to make any move off of Snap. The flow is also pretty cool, especially seeing that 120, 2023, 70 call getting hit. It's over a double move. I like that a lot. We're also getting some nice hits on the 32 and 33 calls. That's a lot to like, as well as these puts are pretty nice. They're in the money right now. We're also getting hit down to the 26 put, which is a decent move down, $2 down. So I like that a ton. People looking like they're starting to count on a bottom here out of Snap, but this one really goes off of SPY. So this is one I'm going to watch very, very closely. As we see here, that bid ask is pretty nasty on the 120.23, 0.55 to 0.7, 15 cent spread. I don't like that a lot, but that's pretty far out. So I like the possible upside there in Snap. Disney's another one, and the reason I like Disney so much these past couple days is there's multiple gaps up and there's also a gap down on the daily. So this can move pretty fast. Let's look at this flow. So the flow, again, decently bullish. Getting hits on these 128 140s, 218 150 calls getting hit pretty nice. 318 150s. We're also getting hits, 128 135 puts. They're really only short-term bearish on this flow, but we also got those 218 120 puts. Could have been a straddle here with the 150s and the 120s. Never really know to be exact, but I like that a lot when it comes to this flow on DIS. Possible big move either way. Multiple gaps, so there's going to be some VPA ranges we can play pretty well with. I like DIS a lot. My personal favorite flow to look at right now is SQ, and I know I'm a big fan of PayPal, right? But SQ, the flow is undeniable. The one thing I don't like about SQ is its bid-ask spreads are usually kind of gross, but just looking at this flow, we're getting smacked around in here, right? All the way up to these 135 calls. It finished the day at 110, tested highs in the 120s, but we were still getting hit up to 130. 318, 200 calls getting hit nice. Also puts are getting hit pretty well. down to 110 as we see again, but this can move either way. When we look back at this daily chart here in a minute, there's a volume gap that it did fill. So if we can bounce back off of this little volume cluster down here, that would be really, really cool to see. The flow is indicating a possible bounce, so I like that play a lot. Especially how wild and spread these calls are. They're taking some pretty big risk here, especially with those 135s, 130s. So that's something I really like to see here. All right, next one, Lucid. So Tesla did have earnings today. I believe they beat on most things, but the stock was still down. What I like a lot about Lucid is there's this massive VPA gap down to about 28-ish area. So I like that a lot on Lucid. Looking at the flow, we're getting hits in these 40 and 36 calls, but also the 30 put. This is the one that really, really interests me because we do have that gap down, and this can move fast down, right? But we also have flow. People, are taking both sides, so that's that magnet effect. One side can move pretty well, but the other side can move decent as well. I like this play a lot. I think that's all for the flow in terms of what really, really stood out to me. Well, let's get some levels going. So first one, I'll start here with Nvidia. As we can see, had a little bit of consolidation. We were testing that 229.8 level a lot, but I think that's a little bit low in terms of my call trigger for tomorrow. So the level that really sticks out to me is this level here before we fell, right at 230.75. Move this to 230.75. Like that one a lot. Flip this to blue for a second. I like that play a lot. Before we fell off, that's the level. It was multiple bottoms here. It was a high here. So that's going to be a pretty key level. And over that, we got some decent range. I'm going to use hourly here in a second to look more into over that. But on the downside, this could move pretty fast down as well. I like that a lot. Nice little volume cluster here, but underneath that, not too much. A little bit more on the upside, which is okay, but this can move nice either way. On the downside, what levels stick out to me? So the first one is these levels are going to be big here, but ultimately these levels in here are really, really interesting to me because we're hitting off them, deflecting, using them as support in here. And ultimately, I like this level right here, big indecision point at 224 for puts. It's also a very big psych level at 224, so I'm going to use that as my put level. Cool. In terms of an up and a downside that I'm going to watch after those levels, the first level that really sticks out to me is right in here. We have this retest here and here at 223.70. It looks like I'm going to use that 233.65 here. Use a little bit of help on my VPA. Nice little volume cluster there. And then over that, next level that really sticks out is all the way up here at, this level is going to be decent, 236.58, nice. But this level here, let's see, what's the low? 237.98, 237.17. So I'm going to put this at 237. Ooh, what's the high on this one? 237.40. I'm going to put this at 237.3. I like that a lot, possible bounce, big play there. So I really, really like that on the upside. In terms of the downside, we're going to have to watch this level here. It's not too far past our put trigger, but it is definitely a level to watch. 223, that's a dollar move still. I like that a lot. And then underneath that, the level I'm really going to watch is right in here. What's the high on this? 220.6. I like that a lot. I think we can definitely see that tomorrow, especially with, if there's a weak market, that's something that we can see a downside too. But if we decide to bounce, we got plenty of upside here on Nvidia as well. All right, time for SQ. So SQ really, really interests me, with that flow coming in pretty crazy. But in terms of a call and a put trigger, on the upside, this level here is definitely interesting. This level here is interesting, but I'm going to have to zoom out a little bit. This level here, pretty nice. But I'm going to use this double top here at 113.45. I like that level a lot. What's the low on this one? 113. Yep, 113.45 as my call trigger. 113.45. Come on now. Cool. I like that. And we're gonna test this next level. I'm gonna watch is definitely right here. But looking at our VPA, there's a nice little gap up to about 114.6. I like that a lot. What's the high on this? 114.75 is going to be my first level I'm really going to watch closely on the upside of SQ. And one thing with SQ, those I talked about those spreads earlier, they're kind of wicked. So it's one I don't always like to play just because of those spreads, but the flow, you can't deny that at all. And this can give us a big move in either direction. The next level over that I'm going to watch is this 117.3 level. I like that a lot. Move that up 117.35. This gives us a big play that way. Something we saw today, move pretty quick through zones on SPY. This will follow SPY as well, as do most tickers. But I like that play a lot. That 113.45 levels acted as a support here, resistance here, and was, it was chopped around in here, but I really like that level in terms of a call trigger. On the downside, I'm going to use these lows here, these double bottom lows. I'm going to try to get underneath this zone because I think we have a bigger move right here at 109.3. I'll have to type it in because I can't seem to find it right now. I really like that a lot on the downside. This is one that can fall pretty quick. That first zone I'm going to watch is right here. The lows 107.7. So that's a decent move down here. I'm going to look at this on the daily as well to show you guys what I was talking about with the volume gap. So as last time I played it was way up here, but let me scroll out a little because I need to get all this visible range in here. So this is one that's very, very beaten down, right? Let's look at the weekly because this sucker's really beaten down. All right, looking at the weekly, this thing can fall still a decent way down to about $85, which is really, really enticing. But the VPA is nice in here, very big region down here. If we can get that fall, I like that play a lot on SQ. But the flow is indicating a possible bounce here, which I really, really like as well. Then underneath that, I'm going to use an hourly, a little bit more significant levels. The high level I'd watch tomorrow for SQ, as this does move pretty decent on most days, is this 120 level. Let's see, what's the high here? 119.62, 119.52. I'm going to use 119.5. I like that level, pretty big psych level as well. But that's a good move, especially seeing we do have a VPA gap. Once we're above, it looks like about 120.20. So over that, we could get a nice move up here towards this POC around 130.5, 131.25. I like that play a lot on SQ. The flow's there. The magnets are there. I like that a lot. Also closed with a inside pretty bearish candle on the hourly. Now Lucid. This is the one that, most of the time I try to stick to that 20-25% method, but with Lucid, look at how big this VPA gap is down here to about 27.82. I'm going to throw in a level here at 28.08 just because that is the low there, but there's a massive VPA gap, right? In terms of a put, I'm going to use that 33 psych level. While it is a little bit higher than I would really like, there's absolutely nothing holding Lucid up at this point after 33. So that's one level I'm going to watch really close. This is probably my top play in terms of downside on Lucid. I like that a lot. That gap down to fill, not too much holding. They can move really, really fast. In terms of an upside on Lucid, I'm going to use some levels in here. I'm ultimately going to use this level here. It's a high. The low here is 34.15, but this high before we fell off at 34.10 for my call trigger. If I can do it. 34.1, yes sir. I like that a lot. I'll be watching this level pretty high here. Not too much on the VPA, but it has been tested multiple times. Low. So 34.45 looks like a bit. What's the level here? 34.40 looks like a very big level. Not too much on the VPA on that 15, but it was a level that's acted as support multiple times. And then the next level over that, this one's going to be a little bit harder to the upside, it looks like. But this level here, what's the low? 34.75. I'm going to use 34.78 as my second on the upside. I like that. And then over that, there's a bunch of congestion. So I really, really like this play, especially on the downside. Tesla's falling after hours, even with revenue beats. So that's something I'm really going to keep in mind. If we have a weak market, I really like Lucid to the downside. DIS. So as we talked about, there's multiple gaps all over the place with DIS. Over that 142, absolutely massive. We have some nice little gaps in here. So I like this play a lot. In terms of an upside trigger, I really like this level right here, the top of this very big level at 134.8. It's a little bit high, I'd say, from a personal standpoint, but I want this to get over this level. It was support here, resistance here. I really like it, and then before we fell right there, maybe a little bit high in terms of what I usually go with, but over that level, I think we get a really, really good move up towards that 136 level, which is going to be my first level to watch. I'm gonna watch this level here at 135.4 as well, but that's still a 70-cent move, so that's something that's cool. I like that. And then over that, I'm gonna watch this level up here at, I'm gonna put 136 psych level, big level on the VPA as well. I like that a lot. 135.99, that'll work. All right, in terms of a downside trigger, the first level that really sticks out is right here. The bottom of this at 132.4 is going to be my put trigger. And the reason being, we tested around these levels multiple times, but that level has been very highly respected here. Underneath that, this 132.33 looks like it might give us a minor, but this moves more than 7 cents. So I like that level at 132.4. The next level I'm really going to watch is right here at 132. I like that on the 15. Looking at this, there's not too much to see in terms of our VPA. It's pretty stacked, about the same, but that big level that I really notice is down here at 131.2. That will be my ultimate second price target here, and then underneath that, this level here, 130.55. Whoa, little glitch, my bad. Let's see what's the low on this. 130.55 is definitely going to be a big level. If we can get down there, close beneath that, this mother trucker can run. And I like that play a lot. A lot of gaps both on the up and the downside. Snap. So as we talked about earlier, Snap does have on the daily, it did fill this gap that we talked about earlier in the week, which is nice to see. It did fill it down, but the VPA gap, whoa, maybe. It did fill the VPA. There's the bigger one. So this is the big level here. 25.7. I'm going to throw that in here. 25.72. That'll work. I like that a lot. What's the high on this? 25. We're going to move this as 25.74. 75, I mean. Nice. I like that. A lot of VPA there. And on the upside, we also have a nice VPA towards 35.8 level. But in terms of a call and a put trigger on Snap, I'm going to use this big psych level on the downside at 28. It's the low right underneath this 28.03, 28.01. There's not too much holding it up underneath that right now either. So I like that a lot. Possible big trigger, big levels to fall. In terms of what I'm going to eye on that, I'm just going to use those psych levels, 27.5, 27, 26.5. Down to that 25.75 level. I really like that a lot. And then on the upside, this one's a little bit lower than I'd like, but it's such a big level and a big psych level that I really like that 29 for a call trigger. First level I'm going to watch on the upside is 29.25. maybe 29.25. I like that. 25-cent move, that can pay pretty decent as well. Second level I'm gonna watch. Honestly, there's not. Yeah, there's a little congestion in here, but 29.75 is really going to be a pretty decent level as well. Downside here, let's use this hourly, get a little bit better, more precise. So yeah, this level here is going to be big, 30. Okay, cool. I'll throw in 30. That's a dollar move. I like that a lot. But on the daily, this level that's been tested a lot is up here around 31. But we have this POC all the way up here at 30.75. And then that next level I'm really going to watch is right here at 30.4. Cool, I like that a lot. And then DKNG, this one started out really, really hot. 3 nice hours, pretty strong action. And then ultimately fell off with SPY towards the end. But on the daily, this sucker needs to hold in terms of a call and a put trigger. All right, so first level I noticed is 21.5 is going to be a big level. It's a big psych level as well. I like that in terms of, that's a massive level, right? So that's going to be my first target. I like a little bit lower for a call trigger in this case. And that level I like is right at the bottom of this, the high here at 20.85. I like that a lot for a call trigger. This sucker can move up to that 21.5, very big level. So that's probably where I'm going to scale on DKNG. It's a good move, and this thing can reverse very, very fast. So I'm going to use that 21.5 level, a very, very big level there. On the downside, let's see. So this is going to be a big level. We got a gap to fill. Cool. Let's scroll out a little. All right, so big level here. What is this, 19.8? I'm going to use 19.8. I like that a lot. It's highs here, tests here, lows over here, 19.8. It was actually a call trigger a couple of days ago for me on DKNG that I liked a lot. And now we're going to see how those levels work for a put trigger. In terms of the downside, I'm going to use an hourly here. Try to get some more concise levels. All right, so this level is going to be decent, it looks like, at 1950. What's this? 1957, 1955. We'll throw 1955 as my first target here on the downside. This one's been beaten down a lot, but it has room to fall. Stocks can go to zero. I don't think that's going to happen, but it can happen. Okay. And then underneath that, this level is going to be decent here at 1934. I like that a lot, 1935. And then underneath that, we can fall down here into the high 18s, low 19s with a big level here, really holding us up around 18.8. So I like that a lot. I'll put this 18.85. Cool, I like that a lot. All of these plays have some really nice flow. SPY is going to be a very determining factor tomorrow. A lot of chops today. But the real thing I'm going to focus on is, it is a Thursday, so I'm going to try to get in and out of these plays pretty fast, take those 20% gains, be happy with those 20% gains. And then when I'm done for the day, I've met a goal, I'm just going to shut my computer off, right? I don't want to overtrade, and I think that's something that could possibly happen tomorrow. Another thing that, I think a lot of people have noticed or have seen the past couple of days with SPY is if we gap up in the mornings, let's say, so today was a gap up, we usually finish down. If we gap down, we usually finish up, right? So that's something that I've been able to kind of incorporate into my system a little bit, is flipping this mindset that in the mornings, whatever is happening, usually it's going to be inversely true in the afternoons. It's been that way the last 3 days, so it's something I like to see a lot. If we gap down tomorrow, I expect a little bit of bounce there in the afternoon. If we gap up, which at this rate I don't think we will, I think, inversely true on that side.